Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, the Deputy President, Speaker of the National Assembly, and the other distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning once again. Your Excellency, I am glad to be standing here today during this significant milestone that transcends the operationalization of a piece of legislation or just being a key statistics to our body of laws. This is a clear demonstration on the government's commitment in setting our country's sustainable economic foundation and ensuring that we have a nation that stands on stability, that stands on fairness, and which is offering equal opportunities to its people. Your Excellency, our economic policies are not just about managing the present, but is also must focus on building the future, and our delivery guardrails built around fiscal discipline, sound planning, and broad participation. My appreciation, you'll allow me, Your Excellency, goes to the leadership of the National Assembly, and more particularly the Finance and Planning Committee, who efficiently managed this process and delivered the final bill in a record time. At this point, Your Excellency, without any fear of equivocation, in my judgment, the 13th Parliament will go down in history as one of the most consequential from an economic reform perspective. In just 3 years, Your Excellency, the House has managed to deliver precedent-setting pieces of economic governance legislation. Just to mention but a few, the Privatization Act of 2025, the Government-Owned Enterprises Act of 2025, the National Infrastructure Act of Fund Act of 2026, and now the Sovereign Wealth Fund Act of 2026. The House has been critical in ensuring that NIF is fully operationalized by approving the sessional papers on government divestiture from Safaricom and KPC to provide the foundational capital as approved by the people of Kenya as presented in the Kenya Kwanza Manifesto. Your Excellency, when I make reference towards actualization of the Kenya Kwanza Manifesto, many people find me as a man at odds, and at times they refer to me as the biblical Saul. But far from it, beyond being a fast learner, Your Excellency, and which I have realized that fast learning and even reading is not very common. Actually, I realize that it's just with a minority, based on some of the instances that I saw in our August House during the recent debate on the finance bill. But that is on a light touch, with a light touch. Both the Kenya Kwanza Manifesto and Azimio Coalition Manifesto, Your Excellency, had lots of resemblance. And I am proud that the late Right Honorable Raila Odinga, may his soul rest in eternal peace, saw it fit that coming together as a country was critical in the furtherance of much needed economic reforms which have been overly delayed. And I had the benefit, Your Excellency, of sharing with both of you on how you too wanted the economy of this country to be steered, including the setting up of the National Infrastructure Fund and even this Sovereign Wealth Fund. You too discussed into detail before we lost the late Honorable Raila Odinga. And I'm happy that the successor in the party, Dr. Oburu Oginga, has equally been a student of that kind of thinking and is helping you steer the two political formations in the same direction. So, Your Excellency, some of the proposals that are in the Sovereign Wealth Fund Bill 2025 are informed by lessons that we have learned and best practices from other countries that have experienced significant economic progress by putting in place economic measures that deliver economic stability or stabilization and optimization of intergenerational transfers. We studied successful models, just to give assurance to the public, from jurisdictions including Norway, Singapore, which I cannot even forget, Saudi Arabia, Botswana in Africa, Nigeria, Kuwait, Qatar, among others. So, Your Excellency, The fund will address three critical imperatives. I don't want to repeat those three imperatives. I think we have spoken about them here during the panel discussion. I just want to mention that from a governance perspective, very robust governance framework has been inbuilt into this act to ensure that its operations are fiscally prudent, subject to the Auditor General, Controller of Budget, Cabinet, and the National Assembly oversight, and guided by the National Treasury's financial assessment, thereby by reinforcing transparency and accountability. To conclude, Your Excellency, I submit that this act is more about economic stabilization. It is more about strategic development and intergenerational equity. Again, I know we have many naysayers who have kept lecturing us on the need to have a sovereign wealth fund only when we have budget surpluses. Let me tell them, the best time to start was yesterday. The second best time to start is right now. Making today the critical window to take action. We must not have or drop excuses. We must build momentum instead of waiting for a perfect moment that may never come. For a practical example, look at the progress we are making on our savings. With the bold reforms ushered in by this government, the pension savings have almost doubled over the last 3 years. It is a clear demonstration of what bold, brave, and proactive leadership can deliver to its people. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. It is now my humble duty to invite your, let me seek guidance. Yeah, I am guided appropriately, Your Excellency.